Peace, y'all. Jonny Fastlane here. So, Soulja Boy's house gets broken into while he's locked up, and YBN Cordae drops some new music. Plus, 50 Cent and Ja Rule are still going at it. Let's talk hip-hop.
You know what I'm saying? I understand the news gotta be presented to the people, but at the same time, man, hey man, there's too much negativity going on, from the Kodak Black, the T.I., to the gang, to everything, man, all the disrespect. Like, it's just too much going on. Let Nipsey Hussle rest in peace. Let Lauren London breathe in peace. Whatever they family needs, support them in their time. Right now, there's no time to be trolling with them. There's no time to be joking with them. There's no negativity that need to be shedded on that. You know what I'm saying? All that needs to happen is Nipsey Hussle need to rest in peace. His family need to be given respect, and the rap game just need to send love and support to Nipsey, bro. We just lost a legend.
Soulja Boy is currently locked up in jail, right? He's locked up on a probation violation. Basically what happened was he's not allowed to have like any guns, any firearms or anything, right? He got arrested like back in 2016 because he was like all on live talking about, I'ma hit Quavo with the Draco. And then the police came and got him and found a bunch of illegal guns in his crib, and so they arrested him, right? They didn't really give him no jail time, but what they did was they gave him probation. I don't know how long the probation was for, but part of the stipulation is that you can't have any guns at all, any ammunition or anything like that, right? So, you know, I guess Soulja Boy's girlfriend or ex-girlfriend called the police on him saying that he had her tied up in the garage. So when they came to do like search his house because he had her tied up in the garage, they found not a gun, but they found that Soulja Boy had like bullets, you know, like ammunition, like maybe a couple bullets somewhere in a dresser drawer or something like that, right? He probably really had a gun, but the gun was in the safe and the bullets was not in the safe, or whatever the case, right? But so they arrested him. Well, they didn't arrest him then, but they said, okay, cool, you got bullets, whatever. He went to his PO, and then the PO had him arrested like right there on the spot. They let him go, and then they picked his ass back up and arrested him again. So now they denied Soulja Boy bail, and he's sitting in jail at least until April 30th, which is like the next week and a half, until he has a court date, right? So we'll see, you know, hopefully Soulja Boy comes home, right? But in the meantime, in between time, Soulja Boy's house got broken into. So obviously there's nobody there, there's no security, there's no nothing, and people do know that he's locked up in jail. So it's not like anybody's gonna pop up or come home or anything like that. So these dudes, they break into his crib. Supposedly they steal like $500,000 worth of jewelry, chains, watches, stuff like that. I don't know how they know what the prices of everything is. But they also ended up breaking into his safe somehow, some way, taking $100,000 worth of cash out of the safe. I don't know how they got in the safe. And then also they stole Soulja Boy's iPhone. So then what they did was they hit the block, right? They left, they hit the block, and they got on chains. They showing their face. Basically, they used Soulja Boy's iPhone to go live on Soulja Boy's account because he was logged in on his Instagram from the phone. And they're like, yo, we stole Soulja Boy's stuff. We got his chains on. Yo, they were standing outside. I mean, showing their whole face. So, I mean, dumbass, right? So obviously, with today's technology, the police are gonna get you quick as hell, right? But I mean, this is just stupid. Like, it's like clout chasing at its finest. Like, a real nigga, right? First of all, if you a real nigga and you was like, you know what, Soulja Boy's locked up, I'ma rob this dude, but it's a non-violent crime and I really don't wanna like violate Soulja Boy like that, so that's why I'm doing it as he's not home. You take his jewelry, you cash it in, you get the cash, and you go home and like you feed your family. I mean, Soulja Boy, he's a millionaire when he gets out of jail anyway. I'm sure he has insurance on the jewelry, so nobody really loses in that whole situation if you was a real nigga. But you a clout chaser, right? When you a clout chaser, you steal it and then you go on Instagram for likes and comments and whatever the fuck, so that you could be famous for not even 15 minutes. So you can be famous for 5 minutes. Like, that's some like lame ass shit if you ask me, right? So one of the dudes is on live on Soulja Boy's account and he's like, yo bro, we got 622 people watching us right now. That's crazy. Like, that's what you robbing niggas and stealing shit from niggas' crib for, so that you can have a lot of views on Instagram live? Like, that's just some lame ass shit. So you know, whatever. Soulja Boy hasn't said anything about this, obviously, because he's locked up. So, you know, we'll see. You know, of course, he does have insurance on the jewelry, and then these niggas are gonna get locked up because they dumb as shit, because they're not getting low. So we know that you're not doing the crime so you could come up or get money. You doing the crime just for clout, which is stupid. Let me know what y'all think about this in the comments.
Presidential, that's inauguration, cause we cooking crack like.
So for y'all that don't know, right, YBN, they're like a whole crew. Well, it's not like the Wu-Tang and nothing like that. There's only 3 of them, right? So you got YBN Namir, who's like the most popular YBN nigga. You got YBN Almighty J, who's the one that got beat up in the Bronx and his face cut when Jay Prince was like, call to action, y'all niggas better get my chain back. And then you got YBN Cordae, right? So YBN, all the YBN dudes are very different in the fact that their style, you know, even where they come from, even like their morals and what they do in hip hop is completely different, right? So these 3 YBN dudes actually met on a video game. Like they was playing like video games, you know, the headset, bop, 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 you on PlayStation, Xbox, whatever. You got a group of people, your homeboys or whatever like that. You know, YBN Namir is from Alabama. YBN Cordae is from Maryland, while YBN Almighty J is like from Houston or like wherever, somewhere down there. And these 3, they kind of like linked up through video games, right? So, you know, YBN Cordae, his style is more like, you know, the J. Cole kind of conscious, kind of, you know, Kendrick Lamar type, where, you know, YBN Namir, he raps about gang shit. And then, you know, YBN Almighty J is pretty much like a, sort of like almost like a internet personality. I mean, he does rap, but more importantly, like he's known for like dating Black China and shit like that, right? So anyway, YBN Cordae drops a video for Have Mercy. Cole Bennett directed it, and this is fire. Like the song is dope. Please have mercy. You know what I'm saying? He got like these fucking like water bugs or like roaches like crawling all over the place. You know what I'm saying? Like I don't know like whose idea that was, but I would have had to say no to that, right? Because yo, these water bugs, them shits is, I mean, he had them crawling on his face and everything. Like it was nasty, right? But the video though is dope, right? So he's got like mad people walking around, you know, they're painted like yellow or red. And he's just spitting, you know what I'm saying? It's like a really like simplified kind of video, and it focuses on the lyrics, right? You know, YBN Cordae is always like dead nice. He always spits fire. And honestly, like his voice, like he's definitely like summoning like his inner Kendrick Lamar on the hook, because his voice sounds very like, the flow and the voice sounds very close to like how Kendrick Lamar would kind of like spit, you know what I'm saying? The verses are a little melodic, and he does say, you know, fuck y'all old niggas, you know, your time is done, because he definitely likes to troll like that, but I do think that he respects hip hop, you know? And YBN Cordae is probably going to be like one of these next like spitters, right? I do think he's probably going to be XXL freshman list on 2019. And you know how the freshman list, they always got to have one spitter. So they had like Wi-Fi's funeral last year, the year before that. I forget who they had the year before that was a spitter. XXXTentacion was on there. The year prior to that, they had Dave East, who was the spitter. So, you know, I'm sure that this year is probably good. I'm like almost certain that it's going to be Cordae. You know what I'm saying? Which, this is fire, man. I'm looking forward to this. And I just want to like really, I want YBN Cordae to stay around in hip hop for like a long ass time. And I'm real interested to see how he grows and how he develops, because, you know, the Drake from 2009 is not the same Drake today. You know, the J. Cole from 2009 is not the same one today. The Big Sean is not the same one like it is today. So Cordae, you know, he's young and he's doing his thing, but he's gonna definitely grow up and grow into being a man and like really find like his real sound and his real calling, or his real like storyline that he wants to put out there as far as hip hop goes, you know? And just watching the video was funny because I noticed something like crazy weird that kind of like stood out to me about Cordae, and that's the fact that this nigga don't have no visible tattoos that I can see, right? So he has on a shirt, and the shirt is like buttoned down like all the way to here. No tattoos on the chest, no neck tattoos, no, not even, he has a short sleeve shirt on. I mean, not even like a tattoo on the arm. I mean, no face tats. And in today's hip hop, it's just so weird that like you ain't got like all them at least like some tats, you know what I'm saying? So it's just real different. And because of this, and I'm interested to really see like what are you doing? Like, what is your call to hit? Like, what are you going to contribute to hip hop? I know he's going to contribute something and it's going to be dope, but I just want to see like what it is. Like, what is your statement that you're really making? Because the no tattoos thing is very interesting, and it's funny because like 10 years ago, if a nigga had mad tattoos, he would have stood out, and then I would have been sitting up here like, damn, yo, the thing that stood out to me was all them tattoos. But it's the reverse of it now. So if he had a bunch of tattoos, I wouldn't have even said nothing because that's normal. But the thing that stood out is the lack of the tattoos. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see, man. I'm excited to just like see what the future holds for YBN Cordae, and I'm looking for that album. Let me know what y'all think about this. Alright, so I don't know how, true this is about Ja Rule owing $2 million to in taxes, like in back taxes, right? Maybe he does, maybe he doesn't, but I don't know how true that part of the story is, like the financial part. What is true though is that whether or not that story is real or not, that 50 Cent will not leave opportunity on the table to troll Ja Rule like crazy, right? So Ja Rule comes out of nowhere. 50 Cent comes out of nowhere on Instagram, and that post that I just showed y'all, he posted up on his page, and he's like, I know this boy ain't that bright, but damn, you know what I'm saying? Like, just trolling Ja Rule a little bit, right? Now, y'all know that Ja Rule and 50 Cent been trolling each other since like as far as you can remember, right? Like as long as you've been alive, Ja Rule and 50 Cent been beefing, right? But where did this like all began, right? So like when I was a kid, this is how long ago it was. Like when I was a child, right? Ja Rule came out, right? And Ja Rule was fire. He was on Murder Inc. Murder Inc. was signed to Def Jam. So Def Jam, being a big record label, had like a bunch of little small record labels underneath them, right? So Def Jam had Murder Inc. was like a small like record label that was under Def Jam, and basically Def Jam used to be hands off with their little record labels. They used to let like the drug lords or the drug dealers or the CEOs or like the niggas run like their small record label as their own little business. So Murder Inc. was ran by like Irv Gotti and Chris Gotti. They had a little bit of money through Supreme from Queens, right? Then, Rough Riders was another small record label that Def Jam had, and that was ran by D&Y. Them dudes is from Yonkers, DMX, Eve, The Lox, and all them was on Rough Riders. And they also had Rockefeller, right? And Rockefeller was ran by, Biggs, Dame Dash, and Jay-Z. And, they had Beanie Siegel and everybody Noriega and everybody Old Dirty Bastard and everybody on that shit. Twista and Kanye West and all those people on Rockefeller, right? So then you have 50 Cent, right? And 50 Cent wasn't on Def Jam at all, right? 50 Cent was, I don't even know if he was really signed yet. Jam Master Jay from Run DMC actually discovered 50 Cent, right? 50 Cent and Ja Rule are both from the same hood. They're both from Southside Jamaica, Queens, right? And at this point, I honestly don't even know if 50 Cent was like signed to any record label or nothing like that, because 50 Cent didn't have no album out at all, right? 50 Cent was just like a local nigga in the streets, selling a little bit of dope, had a little bit of money. He had just got out of jail, and I think like 50 Cent had just got shot like 9 times. Like 50 Cent got shot up, yo. They was trying to kill that nigga, yo. He got shot 9 times, yo, and survived that shit, right? So this was like before 50 Cent was even signed to any record label or anything, right? So one night, they're in Queens, they're in the studio, You know, Ja Rule is from Queens, so he's in the studio. 50 Cent is from Queens, he's in the studio too. And, you know, they had beef, you know. So really, 50 Cent had beef with Supreme, right? So Supreme is the guy who's like the money behind Murder Inc., which is Ja Rule's record label. You know, in Preem, he was financing Chris Gotti and Irv Gotti, and then in turn, you know, their biggest rapper on Murder Inc. was Ja Rule. So 50 Cent was like, fuck it, I'm gonna go after Ja Rule because I'm a rapper too, right? So they all in the studio, somebody turns the lights off in the studio, and then they get to tussling, scuffling, tussling with the lights off, yo. A switchblade comes out and somebody gets stabbed up, right? I think like 50 Cent got stabbed up, right? And he was the only one that got stabbed up. Ja Rule was okay. Everybody else was okay, right? So ever since then, 50 Cent had a real ass beef with Ja Rule, right? So what does 50 Cent do, right? He continues to rap. He starts getting bigger and bigger and bigger, but still no album out yet. He's still like a mixtape rapper, right? So 50 Cent kind of, you know, made it corny for anybody to even like listen to like Ja Rule music, right? So, you know, kind of like how like right now, if you chilling in your car or like you just walking down a block, you got your headphones on, whatever, and like you're listening to 6ix9ine, and somebody's like, bro, you really listening to like 6ix9ine? You really listening to like that snitch ass nigga? Like, you know, you kind of feel like corny or like embarrassed to even like really listen to 6ix9ine right now, right? Whether the music is good or not, it's like, how could you sit there and really listen to 6ix9ine right now, right? So same thing, right? So 50 Cent made it like corny and whack for people to even listen to Ja Rule, right? So, and mind you, he didn't even have an album out yet, right? But what he did have is he had a bunch of other rappers behind him, right? So where Ja Rule had the streets behind him, you know, he had Preem behind him, he had Chris Gotti and Irv Gotti behind him, 50 Cent had Eminem behind him, because even though he didn't drop an album yet, Eminem had just signed 50 Cent to Shady Records. He had Dr. Dre behind him. He had Exhibit. He had, back when Exhibit was like the truth, he had Busta Rhymes behind him, and also DMX. So if you over here, you got all these rappers who are like huge and people look up to them right now, and then you have Ja Rule who's pretty much by himself, even though the streets are behind him, it's easy for 50 Cent to get him and all like his rapper friends to like gang up on Ja Rule. And that's exactly what he did. So 50 Cent comes out with this diss track on an old Tupac beat, right? And he is like going in on Ja Rule, right? Then on that same beat, on the same diss track, Eminem disses Ja Rule. And Busta Rhymes disses Ja Rule too. And this was crazy because Busta Rhymes, like in his whole 25-year career, I've only seen Busta Rhymes like step out of character maybe like 2 or 3 times. Like Busta Rhymes ain't really on no rah-rah shit, and he's definitely not on no beef and shit, right? So for Busta Rhymes to come out of the blue and diss Ja Rule is like a big deal. That's like, y'all got Busta Rhymes upset? You must be wrong then. You know what I'm saying? So with all of that being said, it kind of like silenced, you know, Ja Rule a little bit and made him look corny. Also, 50 Cent was making fun of Ja Rule for like singing on the tracks and being like a little melodic with Ashanti, because back in the day, you know, hip hop wasn't really on like no singing, you know, melodic type stuff. It was more like on some rappity rap, you know, flip of the tip of the crip of the skip of the, you know, rapping like that, right? So 50 Cent was making fun of Ja Rule for being like, what would I be without my baby? Even though like now, looking back on it, them songs are fire, right? But back in the day, it was like, what the fuck are you doing singing on a track? Like, you soft ass nigga. You know, like if Drake would have came out back then, Drake would have been looked at as a soft ass, sucker ass nigga, right? Which is crazy how times change, right? So anyway, at the same time that, you know, 50 Cent and everybody are going at Ja Rule, right? Ja Rule and his whole record label, Murder Inc., everybody ends up getting arrested by the feds, like on some whole 6ix9ine shit, because they're trying to say that you guys are laundering money and racketeering money through Murder Inc., the record label, from Supreme and the Supreme team, these street niggas from Queens, right? So they ended up actually shutting the whole entire record label down, Murder Inc. down, right? Def Jam turned their back on Murder Inc. They didn't want to have nothing to do with Murder Inc. and none of that. They was basically severed their ties with Murder Inc. and said, I don't know what they was doing. That was them. You got to check their books, right? So now they're really suffering. Not only are they getting, got at by rappers, but they can't even really respond or even pay attention to that because they're dealing with like some real ass legal issues, right? This right here is what basically finished Ja Rule, right? Ja Rule could have been huge, but this right here is what finished Ja Rule, right? In the meantime, 50 Cent, it starts coming out even harder. He comes out with Get Rich or Die Trying finally, right? 2002, and actually has an album out now, right? And on his album, he's kind of singing. He kind of steals Ja Rule's entire style, but no one cares, and that album goes diamond, right? And at the same time, Ja Rule is quiet, right? So 50 Cent, he's coming out, I don't know what you heard about me. He's coming out with P.I.M.P. He's chilling with Snoop Dogg and Bishop Magic John Juan. He's beefing with Kanye West at this point, saying him and Kanye West was about to drop an album on the same exact day, 50 Cent and Kanye West. 50 Cent was like, yo, if I sell less than Kanye West, I'm quitting rap completely, right? So both albums came out on that day. Kanye West did sell more than 50 Cent on that day, but 50 Cent didn't quit rapping, right? Meanwhile, Ja Rule is like on hush mouth, right? Mike Jones is coming out hard. 50 Cent is still coming out hard. Years and years and years pass, right? So then 2007, I remember like there was some like random ass like reality show on VH1, and it was like Irv Gotti was on there, and like maybe 1 or 2 episodes Ja Rule was on there, and he was like, all I want to do is get back in the studio and rap. All I want to do is rap again, and that's like all I remember seeing Ja Rule like really quick, like in 2007, but didn't hear from him at all since then. But fast forward to now, Ja Rule tried to do his thing with the Fire Festival. That was a failure. People were saying that it was a whole big scam and everything like that. 50 Cent is, older now. Ja Rule is older now. Both these dudes are like in their 40s. And basically, 50 Cent will not stop with the opportunity to troll Ja Rule, even if it's just a little one-liner or a little talking shit to Ja Rule on Instagram nowadays, But I understand, like 50 Cent is the type of person that, every good supervillain needs to have like their adversary. You feel what I'm saying? And I feel like, 50 Cent is a supervillain and you got an adversary. Like, what if you wake up one morning and you just feel like fucking with somebody, right? 50 Cent ain't gonna start no brand new beef, with somebody that, he ain't, like, why would 50 Cent wake up and beef with Nas? Even though he did have beef with Nas back in the day, why would 50 Cent wake up and beef with the Game? Even though he beefed with the Game too back in the day. 50 Cent was like a little 6ix9ine, right? So anyway, 50 Cent, if he wants to wake up in the morning, he feels like beefing with somebody or trolling somebody or just basically talking shit about somebody, it's either probably going to be Wendy Williams or Ja Rule. Why not? Why not just say fuck you, Ja Rule, when Ja Rule, you've been saying fuck him forever. You know what I'm saying? It's almost like a free punch. It's like letting your steam off on somebody that ain't gonna really trip. At this point, I'm sure Ja Rule expects 50 Cent to, talk shit about him. 50, a couple months ago, 50 Cent was like, yo, I'm gonna buy the first 2 rows of Ja Rule's next show so that I could be the only one sitting in the audience just watching him. Just a bunch of stupid ass shit, right? At this point, it's funny, but their history comes from like some real crazy ass street violent type shit. You know what I'm saying? Shooting, stabbings, all kind of stuff. But at this point, it's funny. Both of them are older now, and I'm sure that they don't really want to see each other like that. So they just troll each other. And mainly, it's one-sided, because 50 Cent be trolling Ja Rule, and Ja Rule don't be saying a damn thing. Well, Ja Rule, 50 Cent did say R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle, and then Ja Rule commented on there and said, you're corny, which is weird. But anyway, so, Ja Rule and 50 Cent, it's like the the beef that will never end. You know what I mean? Let me know what y'all think about all this in the comments down below. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Follow me at Jonny Fastlane, that's Jonny Fastlane on everything, that's Instagram and Twitter. And y'all already know what to do. Peace.